In this Saturday episode of the K-Pop Blast, we've got a bunch of very sad stories to talk about that they aren't very much fun to talk about, but we have to because they are very important to K-pop in general. But on the upside, there is one very happy story that we're going to talk about. So let's get started right now. Welcome everybody, my name is Nick from MW K-Pop, and this is the K-Pop Blast, a news show where I talk about some of the biggest stories in K-pop and I share my thoughts and opinions. So let's get started. We have, like I said, some very sad stories. They are not a whole lot of fun to talk about, but we have to talk about them. So let's get it started first with the prison sentence for the Ladies Code manager who was driving their bus when the accident happened. He has been sentenced to 1 year and 2 months in jail for basically driving recklessly, because he was driving like, I think it was 165 kilometers an hour when the speed limit or something like that. He was driving well over the speed limit he definitely recorded speeding, excessively speeding. And, you know, while it's not a direct result to the accident, it definitely contributed a lot to the outcome, because obviously faster speeds make everything more dangerous and the accident was definitely more deadly. Me personally, I'm actually really sad to hear this because, you know, from the beginning when I heard that he was being investigated, I really didn't want him to be, you know, going to go to jail, to be convicted of any sort of further crime or any crime at all. Because the reason for that is because he was the guy who was in charge of taking care of these girls. He had to have had a very close relationship to them, and he has to live with the fact that his actions, or he was driving and is partly responsible for the death of 2 of those girls. And in my mind, I think that that's kind of punishment enough to live with that, and he definitely isn't going to be managing any idol groups anytime soon. And he's gonna have that to live with in his mind and all that stuff, and it's gonna stick with him. But on the other hand, I mean, like, as much as I don't want him to get jail time is definitely appropriate in this instance, because, you know, his negligent driving, his negligent, you know, actions came with some very bad consequences. And even though this is a freak accident and, you know, it could happen to anybody at any time, and he's not the only manager that speeds all over the place trying to get his, you know, the members of the group that he's in charge of to their different schedules. You know, it just his bad actions, his speeding and all that stuff just really contributed a lot to it. So as much as it makes me sad that he has to get further punished before beyond like living with the guilt and all of the other, you know, thoughts and all that stuff that are associated with that accident, he's got jail time now. So a 1 year, 2 month sentence for him. And that is, I mean, it's not, a year and 2 months is a long time, but in the general, like the entirety of your life, a year and 2 months is not a long time. But hopefully when he gets out, he can, I don't know, it works out for him in the end. I really do hope that it does. So we're moving on to that, to something a little bit less depressing, although still relating to jail time, because Dahee, it was revealed, or has been convicted of a 1 year in jail, and her accomplice to the blackmailing of Lee Byung Hyun, I believe that's what his name is, Lee Byung Hyun. Her accomplice Lee Ji Yeon has been sentenced to 1 year and 2 months, just like the Ladies Code manager. So 1 year in jail for Dahee for blackmail, which previously, when I was hearing about what her conviction could possibly be, I'd seen like 20 years and stuff like that thrown around, and I thought that was insane. A year, definitely more reasonable in my mind. That a year definitely is more reasonable for that. She wrote like 18 apology letters, and her friend, the actress, wrote 11. So I don't know if the extra 7 apology letters that she wrote cut off 2 years of her sentence, but it might have. I don't know, and it's just a little weird thing. I think that, you know, if you write 18 apology letters, at what point do they stop becoming sincere and you're just doing it to try and reduce the amount of punishment that you're getting? even if she probably wasn't even sincere to begin with, because I really don't think that she was. But a result of her going to jail now is that the rest of the members of GLAM came to their company, Big Hit Entertainment, and asked to cancel their contracts with the company, and the company has agreed. So that means that GLAM has been disbanded as a group. That's right. It makes me very sad because, you know, the selfish actions of one member of this group has basically destroyed what was a really, really, really good group that, you know, wasn't going to be like one of the biggest groups in K-pop, but they're definitely going to make a name for themselves. And now that is just, it's just destroyed. I'm not entirely sure if the girls are still going to be working with Big Hit Entertainment or not. I really don't know about that. I'm really, really eager to see, or I'm interested to see where they go, because, you know, they started something. They were making music for like 2-3 years at this point. They've released 3 singles and a few, you know, 3 singles at least, 3 singles, and this is how it ends. They end in basically scandal, and they had to just quit, pack it up, go home early because of the selfishness of one member. So that makes me very, 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 very sad that it had to end this way, but it was expected. It wasn't like this, that GLAM disbanding or anything like that came as a shock to me, because, you know, following the news of this, a member of yours goes to jail, and that is pretty much going to be the end of the group. I was hoping, there was a hope that they would continue on as 3 or find a replacement for her, but the reality is that she's the main visual of this group, and she is definitely the main vocal. There is really, without her, there isn't much of a reason for the group to go on as 3, and it's going to be hard to find a replacement for her that, you know, the small number of fans that this group has will definitely be able to embrace 100%. So, you know, it makes me really sad that GLAM is done for, but it was always going to happen, so I'm not very surprised about it. But we got to move on to the next story, which, with one group disbanding, we have got another group making a comeback, and Infinite H, the subgroup of Infinite consisting of Hoya and Dongwoo, they're coming back. This hip-hop duo is making a comeback slated for January 26th, which is like 2 weeks from now. Very exciting. They're going to be coming out obviously before the end of the month, and this was one of those comebacks that has been rumored and we've talked about, we've known about for 3-4 months, which is actually, at least in my experience, pretty rare that, you know, we have an official announcement of something like this happening months and months and months in advance. But this one has been, you know, announced and revealed, and I knew about it for a very, very, very long time. So I'm excited for this. I really am, because the hip hop stuff, I really have just recently gotten into, like, actual Korean hip hop, and it's fantastic. These guys, the subgroup Infinite H has made some very, very awesome music, and what makes me even more excited about this is that Sunny and Verbal Jint from Brand New Music, which is a hip hop rap entertainment company. Those are like, they only have, you know, rappers that are signed under that company. They have been revealed to have worked on some of the songs on this album. So I'm curious to see if they have any sort of part in the promotion track for this album, or if they're going to be featured in some of the other, like, the tracks that don't get promoted a whole lot. I'm very, very interested to see how this goes, because those guys, they have a lot of you know, they're well known, and this is just a combination. This is just a really, really good combination. These 2 guys from Infinite plus these 2 artists from Brand New Entertainment, this means that if they feature 2 of those, or 1 in 2 different songs, that they're going to have 3 songs off of this album that chart, or that do very, very well in the charts. And that is some very exciting thing, something very exciting for, you know, fans of Infinite, because, you know, everyone cares about how you chart, and getting 3 songs off of your album as a subunit that's not even part of the main group Infinite to chart really well, considering all the competition that you have right now, or some of the competition that they are up against right now, it's going to be really, really awesome to see how that goes. So we have to finish off with the most confusing story that I have ever come across. And when I say confusing, it's not like I don't understand it, but I mean confusing in that there's so much going on that it's hard to really pick out what exactly is happening. And I said, the beginning of this year, I said, I hope that these company or these scandals of mistreatment and stuff from the idols or from the companies against idols and stuff, that there was no more of that this year. And already we've started with accusations, nothing founded or anything like that, but accusations of, you know, I guess mistreatment, but it's mistreatment. Because the main story that broke a few days ago is that Clara has accused the CEO, I believe it's the CEO of Polaris Entertainment, of sexual harassment. Yeah, she's accused them of sexual harassment. And it's been known since I think November that she's been looking to get out of her contract with Polaris Entertainment, which that confuses me because she doesn't have a contract with Polaris Entertainment. She's signed under her own like entertainment company that like I think her father runs it, and there's a branch of Polaris Entertainment that basically manages her acting and her, you know, gets her acting jobs and gets her commercial advertisements. And I don't know what the dispute is that she is so upset about with this, but she wanted to get out. She filed a civil suit against the company to break their contract because they refused to do it. And now it's just been revealed, or it's been dropped, that she, as a way to leverage, at least this is coming out of what Polaris Entertainment is saying, right? They're saying that she came to them and said, you know, I want to cancel my contract with you guys, and if you don't accept my demand, and if you don't actually agree to this, then I will accuse you guys of sexual harassment. And you know, so Polaris is pretty much saying that the sexual harassment accusation is completely false, and that she's just she's making this up as a way to get herself out of this contract, that she didn't have any serious contract with Polaris. And, you know, obviously, like I said, this is really confusing. I don't exactly know how to explain this, because the whole series of events is really, really weird to me. You know, and of course you've got one side saying that the other side did wrong, and the other side saying that their other side did wrong. And I don't know who exactly is right in this instance. You know, generally, or in other instances where there's this sort of scandal and debate on this sort of stuff, I've had an opinion and I could form some sort of conclusion based on what I've seen. But from this, I really don't know, because, you know, throwing about sexual harassment, that's a serious, serious thing to be talking about, and to be lying about that seems insane. And why would you do that? I don't know why you would lie about that. But Polaris, on the other hand, comes out with their official, you know, statement on the matter, saying like, look, she's making this up. That's what they've said. They said she made it up, and they even were like, we will accept an apology for you from lying. And they said that she even came to the CEO's office and was in tears and apologized and said that she just made it up so that she can get out of her contract. You know, and in the release, they also said that they tried to keep this whole, you know, negotiation. They tried to resolve this conflict in private and keep it on the down low so that nobody knew about it. But she had to go public with it when she filed the lawsuit. So Polaris has to put out their statement to reveal all of this stuff that's going on. So I really don't know, because I really want to see, because, you know, I don't want to believe that Clara is lying about the sexual harassment, and I really don't want to believe that, or I really want to believe that Polaris Entertainment is also telling the truth in the fact that they didn't sexually harass, or that nobody in the company sexually harassed her. But somebody has to be lying. Somebody has to be lying, and whoever it is, this is going to turn out pretty bad for them, one way or another. If it's Polaris Entertainment that's lying, somebody or a lot of people in that company are definitely going to lose their jobs. And if it's Clara who's lying, then pretty much her reputation is going to be absolutely destroyed. And I would expect that her career is going to be seriously, seriously damaged, if not completely ended, because of this. I mean, this is just an absolutely insane story, and there has to be more to this, and there definitely, I wouldn't be surprised if there was more details and more stuff regarding this story that comes out in the next few days. So I'll definitely be keeping you guys updated on what else comes along, because, you know, this is just one of those stories that is just, it's kind of like too insane and all that to entirely believe, but it's happening. So I don't really know exactly what I should be believing about this. So I don't know. I want to know though, if you know anything about this Clara story, what did you think about it? Or what do you think? Right? What is your opinion on this? Or if you don't know, you know, maybe you should look up and, you know, look into it, see what you can find news-wise, and share any other details that you know with me, because I'm very interested in, you know, learning more about this story particularly, because this is like the scandal of the year so far, and it's going to be really hard to top something like this, no matter how it goes for, you know, Polaris or Clara. So, you know, definitely be interested. I might come back sometime when an episode next week to give you some more further details on stuff as they get revealed, or as they get released, reported, I should say. But for now, that is going to be it for this episode. Please, before you go, follow me on Twitter. I would really appreciate that. If you really want to, you can message me on Kako Talk as well. That's awesome. I have a couple people who are messaging me there, and it's tons of fun. I really like it. Also, I have a brand new Facebook page. I just started it, so you should definitely check me out there as well. Give me a like, share with all your friends, and yeah, and I will be very thankful if you do all three of those things. That would be super awesome. So that is going to be it for this video. As always, I want to thank you for watching this video, and I will see you on Wednesday. Goodbye.